counting the Pacers out?
Hey, I had the Pacers 9.5 last night.
You did, but we both had our moments where are the OKC Thunder going to kill them?
Totally.
You thought the Cavs were going to come back and kill them. You thought the Knicks was going to beat them. I thought the Bucks were going to beat them. We've counted this team out time and time again, and the funny part is throughout the entirety of the game they were getting thoroughly outplayed.
Yep.
Thoroughly outplayed until the last about 5 minutes of the game, and then all of a sudden they roll back, and any close game favors Indiana. And then Haliburton hitting the game winner with a second and a half remaining to steal game one. Mm-hmm. That's got to be, I haven't checked the number there, that's got to be the least amount of time a team has led in an NBA final game and gone on to win. They didn't lead for a second in that game.
This is starting to look like the team of destiny,
Yeah.
I mean, the Pacers are starting to look like. I after last night, I'm ready to say that. I think this series is already over.
All right. Well, has this
at this point? I'm ready. I'm ready to overreact.
Over in favor of who?
The Pacers.
Oh, come on.
I'm ready. I'm ready to overreact to that.
No.
Do you know what they're going to win the next game? They'll win the next game. They'll be up 2-0 going back to Indiana.
Yeah. The funny part is you don't really know where to go from here because to your point. Well, all right, they stole one on the road. They did what they were supposed to do. But this is not what the Pacers do. The Pacers love stealing game two. They did it against the Knicks. They did it against the Bucks. They did it against the Cavs. It might be the same exact thing. They might win in 5 or 6 again.
Yeah, they're the team of destiny.
I don't know if I buy that this time.
They lose one game around. That's it. They'll have their stinker in game 3. I know the script. The script is out on this team. They're going to go up 2-0 on the road. They're going to lose that game 3. They're going to win game 4, and then they're going to close it out in 5.
I don't know if I'm there yet. I don't know, but there's something to it. The fact that they do the exact same thing every single game. And Tyrese Haliburton, who did nothing offensively throughout the game, was invisible down the stretch, deciding to take that last shot. I mean, I don't know what to think of them. They're magical. That's it. They're magical.
They're a team. So
are the Thunder, my God.
But they play truly cohesively as a team. And the Thunder, you saw Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in 40 minutes on full display going for 38 points. But the Indiana Pacers are the ultimate team. They play some of the best team basketball we've seen in recent NBA history. Obviously, you had the Golden State Warriors with Durant and Curry running all those sets. But it's different. It's even different than the Steve Kerr ball that the Warriors won with. This is like defying odds. This is the end of the game. As you told me the other day, Riz, black magic is good. Well, they dipped in to their bag of black magic last night and started doing their tricks. Colin, I know how this year, my reaction from this game, I already know how it's going to end.
I don't know if I'm there
I know how it's going to end.
I don't know if I'm there because they haven't played it. Look, listen, the Thunder outplayed them the entire game. The entire game.
The Cavaliers outplayed them until...
No, that's not true.
What do you...
That's not true.
Dude, they blew the game at 40 seconds. They were up 7 points with 40 seconds.
And the Knicks,
the Knicks, the same thing.
You can say that about Knicks game 1. I don't know if you can't say that about Knicks game 2. That series was neck and neck the whole way. Point being, the Thunder out, and maybe you're right. Maybe I'm falling for the same trap. The same bear trap that every fan base has fallen for time and time again. This is not a situation where, the Thunder are fine. They're not fine. Now we have a series. This is going to be a dangerous next 5 or 6 games that we have to see. This is definitely going 6 now. Definitely going 6.
Yep.
Pacers are going to win another game.
Yeah.
So if it's going to go 6, it's anybody's series. But another thing about the Thunder, can we take a timeout on them, being the 96 Bulls? Can we lessen that a little bit? I mean, they blew 2 big-time leads. They were up for 12, 13 points for the entirety of the game.
Yeah.
They were up by 13 points with 5 minutes left. I mean, and think about the Denver Nuggets in game 1 of that series. They were up 12 with 4 minutes to go. And they blew that. That's 2 big-time games that they've blown in their building. Now, the one thing I'll say is the Thunder are good at responding to this. But it's amazing. I've never seen anything like this. He hit the game winner to close out the Bucks in game 1. He hit the crazy shot off his own rebound in Game 2 against the Cavaliers. He did the choke signal in front of Reggie Miller in Madison Square Garden in Game 1 against the Knicks.
And still went to overtime and won the game.
And still went to overtime, and you're thinking, oh, this is going to run back and smack him right in the face, and they won in overtime.
Yep.
And then now you got the OKC Thunder, who are the ultimate team at home. They haven't lost at all throughout the regular season and then the postseason, and then they storm back and steal it. That's all. That's literally what by definition, this is a stolen game. This is a stolen game, and now the Thunder have bled.
Yep.
It's almost what the Nuggets have shown. Once they showed that hey, this Thunder team can bleed, they're not invincible. Oh, my God.
So what's up with big men disappearing against this team, too? I
Well,
mean,
Hartenstein and Holmgren stunk. Yeah.
And Holmgren was terrible. You could comparatively say that for that. I understand Cat technically
but
big.
But the weird part is just I don't get how they don't die. The turnover margin was 25-7. 25 turnovers for Indiana and 7 for OKC. That is a ludicrous discrepancy in turnovers and still win the game.
This is one of the worst games I've seen them play all postseason. The Pacers.
Right. That first half,
it's one of the worst games I've seen them play all postseason.
They had 19 turnovers in the first half.
Yep.
They were turning the ball over at will, and they still hung around within 10 points.
3 minutes left, 10 points to go. It seems like that's where they want them, right? That's where they want their opponents. They be down 10 with 3 minutes. That's the recipe for success with this team.
Yeah, you got to beat them by 20. You got to beat them by 20.
Han Solo once said, "Never tell me the odds." That's the Indiana Pacers. What was the stat today? 1 in 131. I saw some ridiculous stat for the Pacers today about being down 10 with 3 minutes to go. They don't care about the odds. They don't care about. They are that team right now. They're defying logic.
You got to kill them 1,000 times.
They're defying logic. They really are. At any crazy statistic you have for this team at the end of the game, they're probably going to break it. And this is, Colin, I might be overreacting today, saying I know how this goes with the Pacers. But would this not be, if it does come to fruition and the Pacers win it, would this not be one of the craziest
This would be like
craziest
up there
runs
with
of all time.
2011 Mavericks of one of the craziest runs in NBA history.
To that point, in 11, Dirk didn't miss a free throw. The story of this is going to be 3 minutes to go, down 10, no problem. They're going to find a way to win, and Haliburton's going to hit the shot.
And that Dirk team beat the Thunder, then they beat the Lakers, and then they beat the Spurs, I believe, on their run upwards to beating Miami in that first year with LeBron. That was a crazy run, and then this rivals that.
I can't believe you're not with me on the Pacers.
I don't know.
You've defended the Pacers against me every step of the way. And then when they're giving you the template that they've been able to win every single series in the playoffs so far, you're looking at the template and going, nah, we know how this is going to end.
The weird part is the Cavaliers and the Knicks had gaping holes in the team. They had issues. If it was the Knicks, it was defensively with Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson. If it was the Cavaliers, they weren't healthy, and all of a sudden their bench depth was ultimately reliable at the end of the season. They had gaping holes. The Thunder are deep. They can defend 1 through 5 at a high level, and they hit threes. They didn't shoot well last night. And I'm not sure. I'm not saying that's going to happen again, and that's going to consistently happen, or they're going to come back and shoot 60% from 3. But they don't have the gaping problems, weaknesses that the other teams have had, but you're right. I think my takeaway was I did think the Thunder were going to win. I was on the boat that the Thunder were going to win the series, and probably fairly easily. Now that the Pacers have stolen game 1, I think I've sort of stepped off of that and stepped into this is going to go 6 or 7 games. And that is a step forward from what everybody thought it was going to be. For it to go above 5 games, it was a plus odds.
It was.
It was ridiculous on Hard Rock Bet.
It was. And I think it was up to the point for the Thunder to win the series almost into the 200s. Like, absolute astronomical odds.
It was plus 500 to win the series.
Can you imagine if you tailed the Indiana? Imagine being a Pacer fan and being a Homer fan and tailing the Pacers in every single series. You're going to have $1 million.
Unbelievable.
Can you imagine if you bet the Pacers in, like, every single game? I wonder what the totality would be on numbers of you being on.
I don't know if I've ever seen a run with this type of magic postseason, like just the sheer unbelievability of it all. I don't know if I've ever seen a run like this.
And also from a team nobody expected. Like, I thought the Bucks had a good chance of beating the Pacers. I certainly didn't think the Pacers had a chance of getting out of the second round. You know what I'm saying? Like, more often than not, not more often than not, but like if you went back and looked at the tape and the experts and talking heads talk about the Indiana Pacers before the playoffs, I guarantee you people thought that Bucks series was going to be.
There's a team that was under 500 at Christmas break. They started out 9-14 on the season, and they just completely turned it up. They swept on. They flew under the radar basically for the entirety of the Eastern Conference playoffs because they won. Mm-hmm. They had that one crazy game, and then they closed it out, and that was it. But now all of a sudden they're begging for respect, and it's almost like NBA and the fans are not necessarily granted, and maybe us included. We just haven't been granting them.
I've denied them every step of the way. Not anymore. Not in this game. I know how this